Hello, I'm Abe Beeson. Welcome to a special streaming edition of our School of Jazz studio sessions. Tonight, we're thrilled to bring you an all-star trio from the Seattle Academy, the Red Combo, with their mentor, bassist Paul Gabrielson. Paul's a Northwest native who just recently returned to the Seattle area after playing in New York for several years. He's worked with the Mingus Big Band, Terrell Stafford, Ingrid Jensen, Benny Green, and many more. And he's studied with bass legends like Ray Brown, John Patitucci, and John Clayton. Paul's also a dedicated instructor. Over the years, he's taught at PLU in Tacoma, New York's City College, and Central Washington University. Seattle Academy's Red Combo includes recent School of Jazz guest DJ Calvin Lundin, a sophomore behind the drums, bassist Tito Rios Viche, now a senior, she actually performed in the KNKX studios 3 years ago with mentor Steve Tressler, and junior pianist Henry Roseman. He composed most of the songs that we're going to hear tonight. Before we begin their performance, here's a short interview I recorded with the band just a couple days ago. Well, I'm excited to talk to all of you, but let's begin with Matt Frost. As I understand from the students, his first name stands for Master at Tooting Trumpet. Matt, how has music education adapted to the pandemic at Seattle Academy?
Oh boy, I'm a little scared that got out, but thanks for using that. Adapted, whatever we can do to keep the music going. And so that's just meant using different technology and doing it individually, editing it together. And we're really excited to be able to do this and be masked and get in the band room again.
That's excellent. And are there any projects you're working on? Like, how does a daily music lesson go now in a lockdown like this?
It's all on Zoom, just like this is. And, we can play for the kids. We can't hear them play, so they've never sounded better. That's just a joke, of course. And we do a lot of submissions. We have a platform we use with the school, so I do get to hear them. We give them feedback. We've used some apps like Upbeat where they can record and kind of create their music. It's a little bit slower than being in person, but, we do the best we can.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to that light at the end of this long tunnel to get all these kids back together. I know they're excited about that too. We'll move over to our special guest, our mentor for tonight's show, Paul Gabrielson. Paul, you are a jazz veteran. I wonder if there's anything in your jazz career that's prepared you for this kind of a situation.
Oh well, I mean, I've got I've done a lot of studying with other bass players, notably guys like Ray Brown and John Clayton, John Patitucci. I did my master's degree with. And so a lot of teaching has come my way, and I've done a lot of individual teaching and a lot of jazz camps and stuff like that. So uh, I'm used to spreading the wealth around, as we say, when it comes to my musical knowledge, with a big question mark. But yeah, so that's kind of my qualifications anyway. But besides being a jazz veteran of that means I'm old.
So tell me about working with the Red Combo at Seattle Academy. Was that a virtual lesson sort of mentorship until the performance? How did it work?
Actually, I started working with last year. I started working with them before things were cut off, and so we used to meet 7 a.m. twice a week, and it was there were a few other people in the ensemble that have since graduated, but Calvin came in and started playing with them, and then I met Henry through some of the jam sessions, and so I was quite honored to be asked to lead them this year. And so far, most of our meetings have been using Zoom or a few other sites like Upbeats Music, where you get together and you record a video. A little bit weird. So what we've been doing is we've been meeting down at the Seattle Drum School with wearing masks, and we have a very big performance space. The Seattle Drum School is run by Steve Smith, and he's got a couple of places in town, and he's generous enough to let us meet there. So we've met in person, and that's really helped for us to uh, get our little block of music together, so to speak. So it will sound good on Friday.
And Paul, you were working with a wonderful bass player in the Red Combo as well. Talk to me about working with Tito Rios Viche.
Well, Tito's wonderful, and we've done several bass lessons together, and she always adapts well to the information that I pass along to her, and she's she's has the spirit for music. She's always shows up with new charts of composers and musicians that I don't know of, and so she's deeply immersed, even though she's still going through her throes of high schoolness and stuff. But she's a super musician, and I'm looking forward to what she has to offer in the years to come.
Thanks, Paul. And Tito, we actually met when you were in our studios for real in person, a studio session featuring mentor Steve Tressler years ago. You're now a senior. This has got to be like the lamest way to end your high school days. Can you tell me about how you've managed to keep your connections to your bandmates, your fellow musicians, strong?
Well, it's been really tough because since we don't see each other, we can't play, we can't really play together. We can just mimic playing together, but it's never in the moment. But I mean, some things that we do, at least right now in the class, like in our regular music class, we just join the Zooms together, and we try to keep our cameras on so we can see each other, and we try to, but I don't know. Other than with Henry and Cal, I haven't been able to like play with other people. So it's pretty hard.
Now, senior year, you've got to be looking forward to not only the end of the pandemic and actually seeing people face to face again, but heading off to college. Can you tell us about your plans for next year?
Oh, that is hard. I don't really know what my plan is. I know that music might not be the priority, but I definitely want to keep it there because I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So I'm a little freaked out, but I know for sure I'm going to keep it in there, and I will join a combo or a band.
That's great to hear. I think as long as we can keep you around the Northwest, we're all the better off for it. Thanks, Tito. Calvin Lundin up next, a recent School of Jazz guest DJ. DJ Calvin is here. When we spoke recently, Calvin, we were talking about drumming and being on stage, and you said it was like that's where you feel most at home, and it's like therapy for you. Can you talk about how important music has been for you during a pandemic?
Oh man. I mean, for me, it's been like the most important thing, I would say. Cause like, it's like the one thing that I always have, I guess. Like even when everything is canceled, I can still go to my basement, sit behind my kit, and it kind of gives me a sense of like normalcy and belonging, I guess. And then also, I don't want to say the pandemic was good in any way. However, I did have, like, despite all my gigs being canceled and shows being canceled and stuff, I did have a lot of time to listen and to plan stuff and start projects and bands with people and things. So yeah, music's been crazy, crazy important for me.
Now, when we spoke, your guest DJ playlist involved a lot of modern acts like Polyrhythmics and Thundercat and Casa Overall. And a lot of that features produced drum beats and stuff you can do just on your laptop at home or on the bus or something. Have you gotten into more production homework rather than playing with people and actually building beats like that on a computer?
I've been trying to, because I mean, obviously, I think that type of music's really cool. I guess I've been trying to listen a lot to music that is like that. I try to do like a new album every day or a new artist every day. And so I've definitely been sort of internalizing that style, I guess. But it is obviously something I think is really cool. And I do want to get more into it at some point.
Great to see you, Calvin. We're going to move on to the pianist in the Red Combo and the band's composer, Henry Roseman. Great to meet you, Henry. That's something that is actually not a bad thing about being locked down. Composing is something is often done alone. And I wonder if you could talk about your composing, if you've been writing during the pandemic.
Yeah, I've been writing a lot. That's kind of like Cal said. I don't want to, say things been good, but one thing it definitely has done is it's given me a lot more time to work on stuff like this. When we were in real life, as it were, I'd be doing so much stuff, and writing would kind of be, I like doing it, but I usually didn't feel like I had time for it. And now I have nothing but time for it in many cases. And so it's finally been like, I'm just going to sit down and write some tunes. And that's been really great. It's been a lot of fun to get a chance to do that.
Excellent. Now, as I was talking about with Calvin, jazz really can reflect all kinds of music. We're about to hear your music, your songs. Can you talk about what styles of jazz attract you, and what style of jazz you think your generation is going to be taking into the future?
Yeah. Well, for me, I like a lot of different kinds of jazz. I think the stuff that's most influenced this set that you're about to hear is sort of fusion, the Headhunters era of Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea. And I also really like the more modern trio sounds like the Bad Plus. And I think that in that regard, I think that is sort of where the future of jazz with my generation is. It's like, as we become more integrated with technology, the more like sort of digital sounds I think are going to become more pervasive. And I think especially that mixed with the sort of analog sound of the past. And another thing that I think has really influenced me is show tunes. Musical theater is a big love of mine. And, a lot of the early jazz standards are show tunes. And so seeing that, getting to work those kinds of things into the music is also a lot of fun.
We'll finish up. Thanks so much, Henry. Excited to hear your music. We'll finish up with another question for the band director at Seattle Academy, Matt Frost. Boy, you've got some smart kids in your crew, man. These kids are really sharp. And I wonder if there's that sense of, at the end of a concert, a jazz concert out at a club, you'll often see the musicians just hanging around for an hour or two, just talking about jazz and comparing stories and hipping each other to other music that they've just heard. Are you able to do some of that in your class and kind of recreate what we call the hang?
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's probably one of the things we miss the most, right? Is that what I call teaching in the cracks, right? Between class, at lunch, and all that kind of stuff. The band room hang, right? We have a couple other ensembles that the kids do, right? Like drumline, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of space like that we have open for that kind of conversation, and we get out in the weeds and talking about music and all that stuff. So in a sense, we do our best to make it happen.
That's great. Really appreciate all your hard work, Matt. And as we know, if anybody's able to improvise around these difficult times, it's jazz teachers and musicians. Thank you so much, Matt Frost, and our wonderful mentor for tonight's show, Paul Gabrielson, and the band, the Red Combo we're about to hear, Henry Roseman, Calvin Lundin, and Tito Rios Viche. I love to present to you, wherever you're listening today, the Red Combo on the KNKX School of Jazz.
Should we just do the other standard? Just do tangerine?
Tangerine?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, why not? Let me get a sound here.
And Henry, you're fine doing this one at like tempo?
Yeah, I think I'll be there. Okay. Should we do
Do your fast one? Or forget me not.
let's do I should do forget me not.
Let's do forget me not. Yeah, but lobsters don't bite me.
outstanding, outstanding. With their mentor, Paul Gabrielson, that's the Red Combo from the Seattle Academy. Henry Roseman on piano, Tito Rios Viche at the bass, and Calvin Lundin drumming. Just wonderful. You can find out how to support these musicians on the slideshow that's coming up shortly. And remember that your support of KNKX makes our School of Jazz possible. Thanks to you, the School of Jazz continues in its 15th year. Even in a pandemic, we're so proud of our commitment to providing mentorship and performance opportunities to music programs across Western Washington, and how it strengthens our connection to musical community around the Northwest. Don't miss our School of Jazz guest DJ series, the first Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. Next up is Linwood High School saxophonist Austin Schneider, February 4th. More KNKX virtual events are coming soon, including Blues Queen Marcia Ball in a virtual all-blues session hosted by John Kessler, February 12th. Other events will be announced soon, including something extra special for fans of Bird Note. Thanks again to Paul Gabrielson, Seattle Academy's Red Combo, and the Academy's Director of Instrumental Music, Matt Frost. Thanks also to audio engineer Dan Mortensen, videographer James Andrews, and on the KNKX tech team, Justin Steyer and Parker Blome. Thanks to development coordinator Adrian Flores and promotions director Brenda Goldstein-Young for making the School of Jazz swing. Thanks to Alaska Airlines and BECU for their support, and look for tonight's performance on the KNKX YouTube channel coming very soon. I'm Abe Beeson for the KNKX School of Jazz. Good night.